turns green, you're going.
Grown-ups from outer space. Once there was a boy named Eli who dreamed that the grown-ups in his town had turned into aliens. When he woke up, he wondered, did I just dream that, or did that actually happen? Because that happens to me a lot. I'm like, did I dream that, or was that real? So he went outside to check.
The librarian, checking in books, took a bite out of one.
What was that like?
Ow! 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 She's eating the History of Aliens book. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's what she's eating. Eli saw the lady at the candy store. Put a bowl full of eyeballs in the window, and it said, "Eyeballs, $1 off."
That's no bargain as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So the coaches at the soccer ball field, he walks by the soccer ball field. He's still wondering, are these people really aliens? Because they're acting pretty strange. And he sees them all standing there oddly, and they're all whistling in unison. Boot, in unison. Boot, doot, doot, doot. And they're all balancing 3 soccer balls on their head, just standing there. And the kids are looking up. These are the soccer coaches.
I can't even balance one soccer ball in my head.
So they were obviously had certain abilities that were not in the usual repertoire of a soccer coach.
The kids weren't even learning soccer. They were like,
They're
what are you
whistling
doing?
they're whistling the march of the Empire.
Do, 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 no. And then Eli saw the garbage man eating all the aluminum cans in the recycling bin. Ew. Because you know what's inside the stuff in the recycling bin?
Recycling.
Yeah, but, you know,
Recycling.
Sometimes garbage, sometimes rats.
sometimes kind of gross, you know, because sometimes people don't rinse out their cans.
Stray dogs.
Plus, eating cans is kind of weird.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't think aluminum is a trace mineral we don't necessarily need in our diet, you know, as humans. Then he saw the woman who fed the pigeons in the park.
I don't think
Had-
it's edible.
She had feathers stuck in her teeth. And Eli saw a pigeon's claw sticking out of her pocket. Just the claw, not a pigeon, no feathers. And he thought, maybe I should go somewhere where nobody can see me, because what if it were just my hand sticking out of her pocket? Taya?
Taya.
Eli heard an alien policeman on the bullhorn. They were rounding up the kids in the park. He decided to run for it.
Smart,
Ooh.
yeah.
How did it sound on the bullhorn?
It was like, hello, go get a kid. Oh, go to kid.
And everyone's doing, speak more clearly.
An alien security guard chased Eli into the malls. The big mall, it's cool, had all of the awesome mall shops, but it was afraid of the escalators. It was like, whoa, oh no,
The alien guard was?
escalator. Yeah, the alien guard and Eli got away. He kept crawling away, the security guard.
Ooh. So he climbed through in a window in the museum. He thinks the museum's a good place to hide. You know, what would the aliens do at the museum? But he crawls in there and he sees the curator, the guy who always ran the museum, and he's sitting there chewing on the dinosaur bone. And he could tell that he had fangs. And most museum, you know, people who run museums don't have the fangs so much, unless they're running a vampire museum.
No, the guy who runs the Museum of Natural History does.
He has fangs? It was on the news?
It was on the news. He had this dental operation.
So, having seen all this, Eli thought hiding in a junkyard seems like maybe a good idea. Except when he got to the junkyard, what did he see? He saw robots melting old cars and making a spaceship out of the metal. Now this is sounding pretty serious, pretty hardcore. Because if they're building a spaceship, what do you think is going to happen?
Go away.
Yeah, maybe they should build a spaceship, and maybe they'd leave, right? Let's see what happened next.
Either that or they're gonna shoot the kids into space.
Shooting the kids into space would be bad.
That would be bad. Then Eli was going to hide in the school, but he saw all the teachers inside writing alien letters on the blackboards.
Yeah.
Oh, the mailman saw Eli hide in a tree. The mailman started sniffing the ground around the trunk, and Eli had to jump down and run.
Tried to hide in a dumpster behind City Hall. But it was filled with green pulsing pods like this. Boom, 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 boom. But some had faces. One of the faces was his. Like they were gonna hatch more aliens.
Dun, dun, dun.
It would look like
Yeah.
the kids. Ugh. So then he saw a dump truck driving by. You know, it's coming through the thing, and he sees more squirming pods in there. And he sees that all the faces are his friends from school. So it sounds like they've turned the aliens into, turned the grown-ups into aliens, and now they're going after the kids. And he sees them, they're all, he sees them like pulsing through there. Ugh, it's gross.
Sounds pretty gross. Eli saw his friend Amy hiding under a bus, so she hadn't been turned into a pod yet. He scooted in next to her, and she said that hairspray actually burned the alien's skin. So they thought, this could be a plan. So they broke into the beauty shop, got all the hairspray they could collect, and they burned up the aliens. Woo!
What about the kids that had already been turned into pods?
Well,
Wait. Because you'd think if they burned up the aliens, the parents would all be gone, the grown-ups would all be gone. But then they found the real grown-ups floating in tanks in another building. So the grown-ups were spared, and the kids that had been started to transform were spared, and the aliens who tried to take over burned up through the magic of hairspray. The end.
The magic of hairspray controls your hair.